Okay. I don't know how I look. I should have looked at the. Okay, you know what? I don't look so bad. Yeah, I look fine. I look fine. Yeah. Okay, so you see this, guys? Let me take that. So I don't know if you can see it, but that right now is set to be off. So if I turn it on, see, now you guys can hear me. And I like this microphone because you know. Oh wait, that looks very bad. I'm not gonna do that again. I just realized how that looks. Yes. So, I don't know. That should sound better. That should sound better. What am I using? Am I using that? Yeah, this is the one that I'm using. Okay. It looks super bad, right? I know. I know. Oh. Yeah. Reduces the background noise a lot, right? That makes me super happy. That makes me super happy. Alright. Let's turn that down. That might have been two now. Oh, we definitely want full captions. Well, yeah, full captions. Yeah. Yeah, it's so much better, right? Yeah, back noise are almost gone. Awesome. Oh my god, yes. Yeah, no, it's just so I didn't know. TwitchCon taught me so many things. For example, one of the booths, it was an audio company, and they showed me the difference between a dynamic microphone and a condenser microphone, and how basically for my setup, I have to use a dynamic microphone. Period. I should not be using anything else. Um, like it's day and night difference, right? I mean, I can't hear it. I have to plug in another thing, and I'm changing it a little bit. I'm trying to see if that takes the background noise. A filter will probably finish them off. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But so oh my god, I just learned so much at TwitchCon, and and um, and not only did I learn. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, he likes to watch. And not only did I learn a ton, but also I came back super inspired. Oh, right. Oh my god, I forgot. I need to add captions to my stream. I met this another. I met so many fantastic streamers, and there's so much vocation about inclusion and making sure that people feel comfortable in the stream. And I'm like, yes, that's all what I want to do. So I came back to like stream with a mission, not just streaming for. Oh, I got a lot quieter. Yeah, I made a little change, so I'm gonna put that back. Give me a second. I was testing something, and I didn't want to tell you guys. I didn't want to tell you guys because I wanted to see if you guys were gonna find out. So I'm sorry for running a little bit of uh, a hidey, sneaky test on you guys. All right, so yeah, let's begin the game. Let me move things around a little bit. Okay, perfect. All right, let's begin the game. Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I finally got a good microphone. I think it's making like massive difference. Controls WASD and click. I haven't put a fire. Okay. 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 It's so this game is called The Beginner's Guide. Um and it is based on Counter-Strike this first level, and it's just a narrative apparently of this developer. Okay. Okay. He stopped making games? Okay. Oh, you're such a nice friend, dude. Brandon at Gmail. Oh, I didn't see that green box. And he also made box spaces. Okay. Yeah. We should be hearing the narrator, but the game sound isn't coming through. Okay. I can fix that. Ah, I always have to do this. Alright, let's put that on pace. Give me a second. I'll fix this. It'll take me like 2 seconds. I figured something like this would happen once I change my sound setup. So I just need to go here to audio. No. Sound. No. M-O-R-T-E. Ah, okay. What's the name of that thing? Voice meter. Well, I was really close. If I kept typing all the... Okay, so... Yes, HyperX is fine for that. Media. Is that helping? No, that's not helping. Let's go ahead and reset it. Is that helping? Media card. Come on, Media. Yes, yes. No, I'll fix it in a second. It won't take me too long. Here. Media. HDMI. Let's go back to voice meter. Perfect. There we go, guys. Alright, that is fixed. Now we can go back here and tell me if you hear... Well, okay, so at this point the game doesn't make any sounds. But, the game should be sounding right now. I can't hear anything. Yeah, that should definitely make a sound. Why can't I hear anything? Okay, so that is sounding everywhere. So maybe this part of the game doesn't have a sound. Whisper machine status active. Escape from Whisper. It's one of the more generic games from Code. No, this should be... Why is it not sounding for me now? Interesting. Okay. Let's see. HyperX is fine. This is fine. Maybe I have to restart a game. Yeah, maybe I have to restart a game. Yeah, let me restart a game real quick. Let me restart a game real quick. Or let me just confirm that my computer is generating sound and not just a Windows warning. So let me start this real quick. Oh, come on. Fine. Can I hear myself? Hello, hello, hello? Hello, hello, hello? Nope, I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting anything. Alright, well, that looks awful. This is very interesting. I'm sorry for the difficulties. Why is it that only this is making sounds? Okay, so yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm not getting any sounds when I do anything online. Let me go to YouTube for a second. YouTube. Sorry. Okay, so that's sounding. That's good. That means that my audio is not completely messed up. So, let's launch the game again, and it should be fine. Perfect. Can you guys hear? Yeah, that's showing me that you guys can hear. Good. Yeah, so I thought that I had fixed some of it, but it seems that it stayed out fumbled. I'm sorry for that.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the beginner's.
I'm gonna skip that level only because we already played it, but we're gonna continue like right away. Yes, this one level.
My name is Davey Reed.
Okay.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift to structure imminent.
I have to escape.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Okay.
You can click to fire the gun.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, you would think that because the door's open, that monsters were supposed to be spawning from both sides. So I understand what you're saying, but the gate's open, and she announced that alien life forms were coming. So I think Coda was thinking of, yeah, making aliens come out, but he simply just didn't get to it for some reason. Unless he actually wanted to just, like, confuse us, you know?
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh, that is really interesting. Alright, let's continue. Let's see what happens.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
No. Don't skip me. Don't skip me. I want to go to a labyrinth, damn
Or
it.
if you'd really like to solve the labyrinth, you're welcome to do that too.
Yes, that's what I want to do. Why you skip the labyrinth, bro? Oh, I was already done. I had actually finished the labyrinth. Maybe he was gonna put a timer on it, like you had to escape the labyrinth portion before you died or something.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all.
Okay.
That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature.
Okay.
If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Nope, I'm leaving. Ah, damn it. Fine. Oh, great. She locked me in here. Well, I guess this is it, huh?
This is not a branching point, unfortunately. The only option is to step into the beam.
Got it. Got it. I just
Let me
died.
pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying,
Right.
is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level.
Okay.
But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere.
Yeah,
And
I know.
This is what happens instead.
Oh, okay. I get elevated out of space? Oh, the labyrinth.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system.
Yeah, I like it.
Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Okay. Hey, I'm really happy that I finished the labyrinth the first time. The past was behind her. Okay.
Yep. In this game, you can only walk
that
backwards.
is so interesting. That is so interesting. Yes. But the
So
future
it's a
cannot be
short
seen.
and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and
The future
narrative.
keep changing.
It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing
she
it on a
stops on
pre-existing trope.
Oh, dude, I don't know. But if the future is always behind her. So Coda is a. Oh, wait, what? How will she find the strength to confront it? Oh, I'm scared.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say,
Okay.
and then it ends.
Okay.
Didn't
Okay.
need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Okay. Oh no, I don't like this. No. No, guys. You're now entering. Ah, yeah.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet.
Oh.
Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay. December 2008.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it.
Okay.
Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, I obviously have to go up there, right? And knowing Coda, he probably didn't put anything here. I don't know
it's tempting,
Coda,
but there's actually nothing over here. Sorry.
Fine, I guess. Whatever. No, wait, I'm still gonna check it. What if he wants me to think that there's nothing there and there's actually something there? Plus, I owe it to Coda, you know? I owe it to Coda. I'm gonna explore his game. He made it. You guys don't know this, but making this, you guys think it would be simple? I tried making video games. Why is there sound here? Is that the only place that has sound? Is that the only place that has those weird sounds? Yeah. Why is there a weird sound here? Oh, that is such a creepy, eerie sound. That is such a super creepy sound. So anyways, as I was saying, making games is really, really hard. Just making a level, well, I mean, sure, it's probably gotten easier nowadays because there's libraries that do a ton of things for you. But 10, 20 years ago, making just the whole collision detection so that you don't fall or you just don't float and go up and down. Why am I slowing down? Oh, I can't make it up.
Once
Can
you've
I?
been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
You know I'm not gonna do that. You know I'm not gonna do that. You guys, everybody knows that I'm not gonna do that. Don't modify Coda's game, dude. If Coda wanted me to spend all this time getting up there, then there's probably no reason for it. But again, if you're making this to honor him, to show him that people respect him, then I am going to play the game the way that it was intended to be played, you know? I'm not gonna mod it. Might take a little bit, but you know, this is a beginner's guide. This is how we begin. It's definitely taking such amount of time. So let's see how many seconds between space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is gonna take us, I estimate, at least 2 minutes. Or at least a minute and a half. I'm gonna go ahead and say 2 minutes to make it there. And there's probably nothing I don't think the game has any achievements, or at least I didn't check if there were any achievements. But I'm sure there's I mean, if there are achievements, they're gonna come from not taking the easy way out. And if not, even if there are no achievements, again, this game was made for Coda, or rather, this game collection of Coda games was made to honor and help Coda understand that he is creative, or she, or you know, that Coda is creative, to show Coda that Coda is creative. So I'm just gonna do this the way that he wanted it. I'm just gonna do this the way that he wanted it. He made me skip the labyrinth, and I had completed the labyrinth on my own. And so I replayed it, and in this case, he said to just, press enter to speed up. I'm not gonna do that. I'm so close. I am so close. I do wonder why is there super creepy music on that side. Oh my god, am I slowing down even more? I feel slower. Or I don't know if the anticipation is higher. Okay. What is in here? A bed? God, this would be the perfect time to give me a jump scare. Like perfect time to give me a jump scare. Okay, so this is like a bed or an altar. Whatever it happens, I am not pressing enter. Alright, so there's two surfaces. They look like a bar. Stand on X during what? Stand in a small room, you realize through the wall. So give me something, but giant balls of fire explain what's happening. You are a gate. A series of lavish manners come with him.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for
You're the
games.
queen. That's in your yours. Press you to surrender. A button you press. to
Coda
stop
would
the
often tell
chaos.
me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that.
You're on the ship and
It
set
can be
your
a
own
very
bodies
slow
and
climb to get there.
So you have the most money. To make the most money, you have to die. Oh, that is such a cool idea. Run a shop inside your own body, selling your organs strategically, so that you get the most money before you die. So you would start with the organs that you need the least. So you could sell, for example, a lung, a kidney. That's very interesting. Okay, what's gonna happen? So he uses this orange and gray slate color thing. This looks very Half-Life-y. It's very much like Half-Life. This one. This one looks like Half-Life a lot.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
It's... Did I look myself out?
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Why is there those 3 holes? I'm very curious about the 3 holes.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you
Wait,
get to the end.
he locked me
Simple
in.
enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
No, what if he wanted me to do something else? Whoa. I didn't try doing that. What is going on?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
I am mind blown. Okay, so we're back here. You're now exiting?
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in. Some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them.
Okay.
And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. Okay. The Great and Lovely Descent. Okay, so obviously go to the house, right? There's nothing else. Just don't walk into nothingness.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Right.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
And a set of rules too.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Okay.
Like all engines,
I
Source
knew that it
has
was
certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Okay. Okay. The streetwise full. Okay, streetwise full. Let's see what's in here. Oh, I can't go in there. Okay. Alright. Can I get in here? No. Is that it? That can't be it. There has to be something else. Oh, this door. This door open. And I can go down. Alright, well, let's... Whoa, Coda. You're doing weird stuff again, dude. So is he trying to like go around boxy stuff? Is that basically it? Whoa. Coda, you're making me fall. Okay. Man, this is so artistic. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I'm alive. I planned this fall. I guess I could have done that instead of trying so hard, right? Oh, interesting. Okay. What was that? Okay, so it's like a bunker now. I hear something. Of course you closed that behind me. Freaking Coda. Coda, you should make horror games, dude, because... Oh, okay. But I want to go that way. Damn it. Oh. Well, I didn't know this was an elevator.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that to you guys. I'm not gonna leave you guys. Wait.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. you know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
There wasn't. Such a smartass. So just playing this. So maybe the 1 hour wait time is a little bit extreme, right? Especially because there's no indicator that time is actually passing in the game. And you would actually believe that the game just froze, sort of, or that it's a bug. So without any indicator, it's left to the player to actually decide if the game is still working or not, which is an interesting concept. So here's the thing. I don't know if I can actually call Coda's games as much as interactive art. Okay? And the reason for that is, if, and I mean this right now that I haven't seen everything in the nicest way, but if it was a game, like properly game designed with intention to be a game, then it is not a good game. Okay? It is not a good game. And it's not a good game because, in my opinion, for a game to be good, at least to be good following the conventions of software design and game design, is that you don't have to explain your players, your gamers, or the people that are playing the game, the rules. They just learn the rules of the game by playing the game. Okay? So basically, the best game doesn't need a tutorial level, because what you do through the game tells you what it is. Maybe what he's doing is all supposed to be like Easter eggs or something different going on, but I wouldn't call them, I don't know if I would call them games, because of what I just said. I think they're extremely artistic, and I definitely believe that he's trying to convey a message, so maybe I would call it a graphical novel, or an interactive novel. His games are a lot more narrative and art than actual game. And to really understand that, you have to really study a little bit of ludology. Ludology is the science behind games. So I won't get much further into it. I'm just saying, just if you really want to understand it more, read between narrativism and ludology, and you will understand that games and narrative are different things, and some games can have no narrative to it, or have narrative, but all narrative doesn't necessarily go into a game, or just because it has narrative on it doesn't turn into a game. And a lot of the discussion into it, God, I'm getting into it. I know I said that I wasn't, but for a game to be a game, and there's a lot of people that argue against it, but in my opinion, it's true. For a game to be a game, there has to be either a set of scores, or there has to be a begin and an end to it that is clear, along with a set of rules. So forget about video games for a second. For a game to be a game, there has to be a condition in which basically a victory condition. So I'm trying to find the other idea. I'll put a pin on that, but once I remember what I was trying to explain, I'll come back to it, or maybe I will forget as I play. As I play through this narrative experience. I'm gonna call it a narrative experience. Alright, so see, he's very clear that there's nothing over there because it's all dark. And obviously there's nothing over there either because it's also super dark. And there's nothing down here? Oh no, there is. Okay. Those three hole things, I do wonder what they mean.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Okay. I'm gonna say sometimes you have to close a door behind to open a door forward. Considering that Coda was always jumping between games, I think it would make sense that he felt like for him to move into the next game, he had to just close the door on the previous one. So for him to learn something new, he had to consider what he had done before done. And that's why he never actually completed, air quote, what he saw as a game, because he was working on something new. There was no need to go back to it, you know. He was learning new things. Listen. You there? Do you come from up above?
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Yes, I spent hours in. You've been there. Now this is important. You have to get through the possible doors and switches. I'm lying, obviously. There are other ways in and out. You understand? We have to get out of here. It's the most important thing. We have to get out of this prison. Can you hear me? Can you tell me how to get to the end? Yes. This is how you get to the end. You go through this, and the door closes behind me in the creepiest way possible. Okay. I'm trapped. But now there's this. Okay, I'm gonna lie. I mean, technically I've always been here. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the backspace in the middle. What happens if I solve it? Yeah. Wait, no. Ah, damn it. Okay. I want to try something else.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Okay. Let's check this out then. Man, this guy is just practicing all his skills.
It's a lamppost.
On this
Okay,
game.
I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's
Okay.
going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
Okay, that's cool.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination.
Okay.
We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them.
Okay.
And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Okay. Cool. Alright, so this game is on. Yeah, okay. April 2009. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. So obviously very Souls inspired. Nice room. Not. I think it's a decent room. Reminds me of Perfect Dark. Of the last level of Perfect Dark.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda.
No point.
This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me.
Yeah.
And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you.
No, I want to see the notes.
If you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
We're running out of space soon. We'll suffocate.
But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt,
so nice.
that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work.
Well, yeah, you can always get to know someone through their work.
So much is because it felt like they let me have that connection.
I never want to.
I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world.
Wow, that's a little bit intense, Coda.
And then I feel less lonely too.
Characters that don't belong to him. How is there wood and grass and concrete here? What the fuck? Yeah. Balls. Balls. I'll tell you a secret. Once upon a time I did. Define fun. I'm king of the world because you're sitting on top of that. I know that there's nothing if I read them all. I'm just kind of curious, so I'm gonna keep doing this until I satisfy my own curiosity. This place makes you sad. Everyone read this. Why does this make you sad, Coda? Alright, so I'm sure there's notes going up and down. Now, do we want to go that way? Can I make it? Oh, I cannot jump. Okay. I guess I can only walk. Yeah, I cannot jump. Alright. Let's see. Hey, I can type here. Alright, so the balloons that are white are balloons that I have red. Balloons that are blue are balloons that I haven't. What the shit is this cavern? Is this even a cavern at this point? Boring. I can assure you, guarantee that there's an ink of someone here in this place, and sailors are looking for it. Sailors? What sailors? Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. Oh, Coda. I refuse to believe. But blah. I need to go to the freaking bathroom. You recognize. Notice me, senpai. There's nothing here. Go back. Don't listen to that guy. A free t-shirt. The other way. Makes game. Includes door. Cannot open door. Thanks. Open sesame. Door how open? I don't think that you can open the door. I like the stream. Hey Nova, how you doing? Thank you. Have you played this game or? Help people because of the internal good feeling again. I mean, you can't deny that one of the reasons you help others is because you feel good when you help others, right? It might not be the driving factor because you help people to help people, like for the fact of helping, but how may I put it? If helping people felt bad, then you wouldn't do it. Oh, Nova, so far I'm loving the game. I don't know if you heard the part where I was describing this less of a game and more of an interactive novel, or more of a narrative. But I'm liking it. I mean, it's not any less fun. It's about as fun as a book that you can navigate through in a 3D aspect. New room. Do you hear the chimes? They keep you going, don't they? I don't hear the chimes. Script writing something that want to feel judged. Sorry, crowd. You know, I wish he would let me like float or fly, because I want to see the other notes in the other cavern. Well, congratulations. I don't really know where to go with this. I was here for that. Yes, a 3D visual novel. Absolutely. A game where you leave notes and suddenly everyone's a poet. This is where I get off. I failed to write anything here. I am compelled. Stop, turn back, proceeding further will only result in misery. Shit. Can I? Alright. Take my hand, let's jump together. I tried. I've been trying to jump down all this time. Cabbage shapes our nation. What is happening? Wait, what? No. What is that painting? I don't know, but I presume that that's kind of like close to the end of the level. Very good game. Hey, don't talk about me that way. I think this is not going anywhere. Next time I will do better. I need someone to talk to. We all do. That's part of the reasons why I stream. Talking to people. Don't listen to the other notes. This is obviously very inspired in Demon's Souls. Demon's Souls was so far my favorite game, and I think Demon's Souls might have been out, let's see, yeah, Demon's Souls might have come out around this time. Today I learned that you cannot fall off. I've been trying to jump all this time. Ethical. Do you hear new sounds while we walk? I saw a person walking down there. Now I won't come back. Devil Power Star. Who are all of you? We will all die someday. I mean, yeah, that's a fact. Help, I'm trying to speak. Hey guys, it's Angin. Art. Yeah, I definitely hear whispers. I knew I was definitely hearing whispers. It's, let's see. I don't think that it looks messy. It looks like one of those pictures that they test you if you're daltonic. Daltonic? Is that the word for it? Spoilers. It doesn't mean anything. Alright. I'm kind of curious what this one says. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. Oh wow, Coda. That's a little bit rough. I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. There must be a reason for it though. Not necessarily. It's terrible secret. He kept it well. I beat the game. More room. Lava.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next.
That's exactly what I said. Downward, keep digging.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Supposed to have a solution? Oh my god, I've been literally from what the fuck do I do? Doesn't make sense. It's like another one open.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together.
Okay.
To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Why is there a ton of typewriters? What the fuck? Why is there a ton of typewriters? This is so creepy, Coda. What the actual fuck? What the fuck? I'm sorry. I know there's no need to curse so much about it. It's just super creepy. Porn
Okay, this one
stars
is
die
tough.
too.
It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
You know what this reminds me of? The first, just when you start the game, Prey, which I think might be I hated the noise of the typewriters in my first playthrough. Yeah, it's too creepy. It's way too creepy, Nova. Okay, what I was saying is, this everything that's happening right now here, reminds me a lot of when you begin playing Prey. I like the nice architecture. You know, I feel like I'm going to a club right now.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Okay. He removed the furniture. I mean, he left the space where furniture was. Okay. So it doesn't matter what I select. Cool, so it doesn't matter what I pick. I'm thinking at 10 by 12 recessed electric 6 inches soft lead ceiling with lights for the trail. Oh, let's open this baby up. Alright. A table, you need a table. Who are you? I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making a difference. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Oh, wait, he actually...
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake. So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Okay, okay. Hello, please walk forward. I'm trying not to walk forward. This guy will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully and take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good, now we're at the photo frame. I don't understand the 3 holes. What do the 3 holes mean? Oh shit, I don't remember what you told me to do. Good, go over the photo frame and click on the side. Now turn the floor along. Now go to left side sofa and move it a little. Which one is the left side? This one? Final touch the shelves. That's it. And real person's gate will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Return. Okay. Is that it? Or is it gonna start me in my prison?
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen.
You're inside the well?
Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself.
You know,
you just spiral.
You know, 100%. 100%. I can't say that I did it with video games because, again, I wasn't able to successfully make a video game. But it is not an uncommon practice in coding when you find a good piece of code, when you find a piece of code that works, that you reutilize it. You do utilize it again and again and again because that piece of code will always do exactly what you want it to do. And it's not about being creative or not. Sorry, my throat has been bad since I came back from TwitchCon. Just need a second. I have these little holes that my wife got me, and they are keeping me alive. The only thing that worries me is when you have too much mint, it kind of makes you go to the bathroom a lot. So what I was saying is, yeah. So when you're programming, when you're going through any kind of programming, I don't mean video game programming only. I mean programming for an application, programming from SAS or software as a service. When you are through code, actually forget about code. Oh shit! I hit the table. So when you're in life, and I see my baby do it all the time. When you're in life and you figure out something that works until you find something that works better, you keep doing exactly the same thing. Okay? So a baby cries. Baby knows that when he cries, he gets food, diaper change, put to bed. And then baby realizes that when he cries, people come and all these things get taken care of. And then he utilizes crying for when he gets hurt because he already knows that he gets attention and he wants support. So it's not he pooped. It's not that anything else happened. He knows that crying generates a response that he's looking for. Okay? A baby that has no logic, I guess not necessarily no logic, but a baby that doesn't have the retention to really go further than that. Okay, he has no retention, no long term retention of all the things. He knows that. He knows that. So now let's get back to the complex stuff. Once you know that something works, you start using it for a lot of things. But then once you really understand how efficient that thing is, you start playing around with it. So this thing that already works, what else can I use it for? Okay, and I think his friend might be, and it's fascinating, but I don't think that Coda sees things the same way that he is, and I think what made this novel into a novel is the fascination that this guy had for Coda. I think Coda was just, in part, yeah, trying to be creative, but in part he was just learning and trying things out. You know, just trying to figure out what he could do with what he already knew, which is why you're seeing these assets. Remember when we were coming down the prison? I mean, he likes the concept of a prison a lot. Maybe that could tell something about him. Maybe he's trying to escape some chains that he imposed on himself. Maybe the chains that he imposed on himself are, and obviously now I'm thinking like the friend, Coda's friend wants me to think. I forget his name. You know, maybe all this is going on. But I think, like, if we go through the really basic aspect of it, I think Coda is just learning and trying to see what else can he do with what he has learned. Davey, thank you, Nova. Thank you.
And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Oh, the lamppost. Ah. Okay. Hello? I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me?
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Okay. I mean, I know none of the choices matter, but my choice would be... Okay, very interesting. Wait, if you're me, then do you get a call from another version of me when you were trapped? Yes, I did get a call. That's how I escaped. What do you have to do to get out? All they told me was to be sincere. What? That freaked you? How does that work? Just be sincere. That's exactly what you need to figure out in order to escape.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay.
And who would you trust better than yourself?
Wouldn't that be nice?
It's a very interesting concept. You know,
So
you
what
talking
would
to
it look
yourself
like
from the
if
future,
Coda
telling
wanted
you
to
it's
make
gonna
a
be
game without
okay.
talking to someone
That's like
other than
fantastic,
himself?
right? Honestly, think about it for a second. You call yourself from
To
the
me, this
future.
environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
I mean, I'm sure there's a reason to
Just so
speak
you're
to
aware, nothing will happen up here until you've been inside the house.
that. I figured. I did have a feeling that was gonna be the case, but yeah, I'm guessing opposite. Well, my goodness, I'm glad that you showed up. Yeah, those plates look messy.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Don't worry about me. Our place is nice. I'll be glad to stay here all night. Sure. Done. Want to better make the bed? Yeah, I can do that. Is the bedroom this way? No. It's a bathroom. Okay. Oh, so I'm a house cleaner. Okay. This chapter is your favorite, Nova? What makes it your favorite? Actually, let me finish the chapter. Let me finish the chapter. And then I want you to tell me what makes it your favorite. I'm liking the music and just the background noise. It makes it very pleasant. It also kind of reminds me of Home Flip Simulator, House Simulator. How you end up doing this job? A friend had me along, desperate for cash. Turns out, estamos en la interface. Yeah, I can help you with the pillows. House flipper, yeah. I feel compelled to try and prove she's a person else. Are you okay with that? Make it special, she's did I make you uncomfortable? I didn't mean to. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Okay, how about you do something? You are the cleaner. No need to be perfect, we're all just human. I was trying to do that when I was here. And also fix his notes. Wait, didn't we just clear
After
that?
the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Okay. Let me tell you something. That is only as difficult to claim as you are. If you're finding the work hard, then maybe better for us give it to you before you come to work. Ha! Smooth out the rug in the bedroom.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Oh, okay. No, there's a bit of truth. I mean, I don't like it that I'm doing all the work, right? I feel like you could do some of that work.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Question. Okay.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
What if I stay in the dark space? Does something happen to me? Or do you just mean... Was he being, like, unspecific about it? I guess I don't really want to find out. I don't really want to find out. Oh, the lamp! And we're done?
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Okay, wait, before
This
we continue.
one-
Nova, why was it your favorite one? I really like the sound behind it. It was very relaxing. It was very peaceful, and I like the sense of control that this game actually gave me versus, well, I don't know if to call it a game necessarily, but for the sake of simplicity, yes, I like the sense of control that the game gave me. But yeah, what made it your favorite chapter?
It gets a bit goofy.
Was it to get a better job? No. Okay. Because it's such a warm and happy chapter, even the narrative aspect of it. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Wait, this was perfect. What difference? So you can just keep moving me? Am I just trying to get closer to the talker? Have you
About
gone
halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Okay.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Oh, I mean, I can move around, but I can't really escape the end of the universe, basically. What is going on? Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Okay, so the yellow one is what the teacher would say, and the gray ones is what the teacher is thinking. Ha ha ha, just kidding. Everyone run!
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have.
Okay.
To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days. This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Stage. There's definitely a lot more graphical detail. There's more props. There's a lot more props. It's a lot bigger, in my opinion, and I feel like there's a lot more attention to the graphical details of the game. I can definitely see this game taking a lot longer. Okay, so that's the stage. Obviously I have to walk in there. Oh, and now this reminds me again of Prey. This part right here. This entire area reminds me of Prey. Okay. Okay. Da, 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 da. Oh, I was like tap dancing or trying to. Okay. Okay. Just something for her to get something to succeed. Say something to her. Wise. Hello. Wise and happy, successful and focused. Be a human being. Well, I mean, I did acting in high school, so I feel like connection to this chapter, except of course real acting isn't exactly like this. I never did acting except when I was a kid. But I gotta admit that the concept of the lights turning on like that, I mean, even though I was kind of expecting something to happen by me getting to the stage, it kind of like frightened me a little bit. Because I feel like I was put on the spot without knowing what to do. It's kind of like a nightmare idea, you know, that you get put onto a stage without knowing why you are on the stage, or what you're supposed to do on it. So I wonder if Koda felt that sometimes, like he was put on display and being asked to perform without knowing what performance was expected of him. You still jump at that? The lights turn on like that? Yeah, it was kind of made me alert. I'm super scared right now. Well, you didn't tell me anything. Why would you put... Okay. You understand how, like, terrifying the entire thing is. What are some of the sacrifices you had to make? You're messing it up, Paul. You're messing it up. You freak her out if the conversation gets that person that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Oh, the lamp? Is it over? This is terrifying. Coda, you are terrifying. I don't want to code that way. I kind of want to take my headset off, to be honest. Just so I don't have... This what it was like? I can't even... Wait, what happened?
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know,
right.
it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer.
I can't hear that.
But what can you do? After this, Coda
5
went off and
months
took another
to make
5
another game.
months to
Maybe
make
at
a
this
new
point,
game.
Coda was actually playing with you, dude. That's why he was taking longer and longer to play the games. Movie strip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Oh wait, he's a click. I don't know what's happening. Am I supposed to open my eyes? Oh, right. How am I gonna find out if I can't read? I don't know if I... Okay, so... I can feel the changes in light, so I know something is happening.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise.
Oh,
and there is
okay.
a solution, by the way.
Okay. That's gonna destroy me, isn't it? Okay. We'll be okay. Can't say anything.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, You know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that
Okay.
kind of thing.
Okay, that's kind of
Here was the point in my
powerful.
relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Okay. I thought it was gonna be easy. I'm alone. We're going to be okay. Oh, dude. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. Being
His
alone
games are going to get more
sucks.
desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
December of 2010. Hello? Oh, this reminds me of Kung Fu Panda. Is that our person? Oh, lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look so lost. You look lost. I mean, all those would be honest. I think those are all valid answers. Right? The soundtrack is my favorite, so ethereal. Oh no! What's happened? Did something change? It was the machine that kept me going and stopped. Looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. You have to take me to it. I need to see it to know why it stopped.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even.
Okay.
And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
I'll show it to you. It's gonna be the same
'Cause
door, isn't it?
From my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
You have to open the door. Now you have to. Now you press the switch on the inside. Now you have to close the first door. Okay, so now I have to tell it.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation.
Right.
If all of your
100%.
anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Right. Okay, here we are. There's not much in here. Trust me, you can see. You have to say your experience. You have to say game development is simple and joyous and the yellow 100%. No, none of that is true. None of that is true. Those are all false. Oh man. But it wasn't true. It's not.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about, and I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Wow. Jesus. This is... Wow.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so wrong.
It feels wrong. It feels wrong to be playing
this. I needed
this.
more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
Is that you inside? It's a woman crying.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Isn't it interesting that it takes Coda an extra month every time? The machine. I will be right back, guys. I need to take a super quick restroom break. So just 1 second. Hey guys, and gals, and they and them, and everyone else. We're back. I needed to drink some water, I needed to use the restroom, wash my hands, come back. I've done all that. The machine. Oh, there's a guard now. Ma'am, I'm glad to see you arrived safely. Get to the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. Tend to be proven. Very good. Interesting. Okay.
And of course, it's the machine.
I wonder what was keeping us alive. Apologize for leaving yourself. Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. Yeah. You know who knows the best way of hurting you? Yourself. 100%. But you are the machine, Coda. You will apologize to the people. My friends. I have a troubling revelation. The machine will not apologize to us. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show you that we're not failures. So I know it is not a game. I know that it is not like a game per se. But if it was a game, I would select the option 1. And it's not that I want to destroy Coda. Okay? Because I mean I would have to be a horrible person to want to do that. What I want to do is I want to destroy what Coda thinks Coda is. I want to destroy Coda's idea that Coda is a machine, because Coda is human. Coda has imperfections and fears and loneliness, and what I'd like to destroy is the erroneous concept of Coda thinking of itself as a machine, of herself. I think it's safe to say her because Coda used Madame, and I didn't want to assume anything, but at the beginning of this level, Coda is calling herself Madame, as she's going to visit the Coda version of the machine. So I'm gonna call her a her when I'm not using Coda specifically, or a she when I'm not using Coda specifically. But yeah, like what I'd like to do right now is destroy the idea that Coda has that she's a machine. We're not machines. And I know all the people that try to be like machines, and they keep taking more and more weight and more load up on themselves, and that's not how it works. We're made of flesh and bone. We grow old, we break, and we need each other. And I know this, I mean, one thing that TwitchCon really taught me, and I was saying this at the beginning of the stream, so I don't know who might have heard this part or not so far, is that we don't work enough on including other people. And whoever watches this right now or in the future, or any recording or anything like that, is if I can ask you, just out of the goodness of your own heart, to acknowledge someone, not even like push them to be your friend or anything like that, but just to let them know that you are there, do it. Do it, because a lot of people, whether they're going through depression or loneliness or anything, a lot of people just need to know that somebody knows that they are there. And that's, I mean, if you can't do it, that could make a whole difference in that person's life. So I would ask you to do that for them, if you can. if it doesn't put you in an uncomfortable position, I would ask you to do that. But I'll continue playing the level now. Oh, the stage. I'm ready for the lights to turn on. Wait, what? I got the gun? The first gun? Okay, so where's the machine? Can I go through this? No.
Remember, you can click to fire the gun.
Isn't that what you're scared of? Exposed to your fathers every day?
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to me.
He called Coda his, so Coda might be actually male, and I completely assumed the wrong thing.
To get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
So it just goes through everything? The idea is destroy it? I'm doing it because it's what the game wants me to do, but I didn't want to destroy his levels. I just want to destroy the concept of Coda being a machine. Because I don't think...
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Yeah, this is what I like to destroy. The idea of being a machine. Oh, Davey has been using he, him pronouns for Coda this entire time. Oh, I haven't been paying attention to that. Thank you. Put down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Because
I
it's
can
the thing that
understand.
I always feel like I need. To be told that my work is good. That I am good.
No, I don't think that I agree with you.
When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work,
That I agree with. The second point that he made right now, I agree with. Not the first one. Being told that you're good is nice. But to me, more important than being told that I'm good or that I'm bad or that I'm anything is for people to be genuine about how they feel about me or what I do. So it's not being good or bad, but being authentic, being honest. That would be, to me, more beautiful or more beneficial. Because in you being authentic and you being honest, you're giving yourself to me. Okay? You're opening yourself to me. So maybe giving yourself to me is a little bit too intense, but you're opening yourself to me, which to me has a lot more value than whether or not good or bad is the thing. And And thank you, Nova. Yeah, no, I think that's it. I think that's what we should all give and we should all get.
There's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something. I really felt like I'd done something good. Like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
Uh-oh.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made.
Oh, Coda.
So let's take a look.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm getting such bad vibes. Oh man.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, The Tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it.
Okay.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
I know, and I will probably. Hey, Panda. I'm gonna try this 2 more times. Okay. I kind of want to complete the maze, but I'm gonna do this for right now. But I really want.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But
Okay.
that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate.
Okay.
What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
I think the idea behind the invisible maze is going to be it's going to be the representation that life frequently feels like a maze where you run into invisible walls, like a puzzle that you can never figure out or complete, and that every time that you make a mistake, there's just kind of like pain and regret. Which is not really how life is. That's just a way of looking at life. But I'm thinking that that's a representation that we might assume Koda was looking at. But yeah, no, I don't Um, I mean, I don't know. That's how I interpret it, anyways.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Ah, well, I guess I was close. 1-5. Can I? Okay, no. This game has me on my heels. Oh, I don't want to jump. Oh, this is a room to a machine, isn't it?
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem.
Okay.
I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can
But some problems are not. Okay, so I mean, I understand, you know, Davey, but some problems are not problems, and some problems that are problems are not meant to be fixed. Does that make sense? Not everything that we think of as a problem is actually a problem. Hey Nyronth. I don't know when you joined, but this game is like super interesting and a little bit dark. Do I think I know you, so you're okay with dark. But yeah, what I was saying is, not all the things that we think are problems are actually problems, and not all the things that are problems that are meant to be solved. Sometimes there are things that you just need to accept. Yes. And some problems are only meant to be solved by the person who has them as well. 100% Nova. 100%. 100%. Sometimes when you run into a problem, or you see somebody run into a problem, either you or the other person are the ones that are supposed to solve it. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree.
open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
The 3 freaking dots.
And he wouldn't. I I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
No, bro. No. So I don't know at what point it happened, but I just realized. I think it was on the machine level. Yeah, on the machine level where we're looking at the machine. Davey started making this about himself. It was no longer about Coda. I mean, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. But at this point, he started making this about himself, not about
Where did
Coda.
I screw up?
That's the whole thing. Oh, fuck.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
He knew that he would be able to get to finish the puzzle because he kept going around his games. He kept going behind his game, so he knew he was gonna fix the door for him. Like he knew that he was gonna just go through it. Because Davey kept just pushing. Just pushing and pushing and pushing. So he knew he was gonna get here.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
Wow. You've so infected my personal space
And
that it's possible.
the people
that
who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say.
Yeah.
Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally.
You
For a
made it.
moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
If there was an answer, a minute would make you any happier. You stopped taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes. Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. You stopped changing my games, stopped adding lampposts to them. Wait. Wait, what? You added the lamppost? You seem
And then
better
you
than me.
stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people.
And I'm
I
around
just
you
had to
physically
be
healed.
with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What is that?
Struggling to come up with new ideas. It's not making me depressed. Low points are just part of the process. The fact that you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
Don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work. is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please. I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me?
Yeah, dude.
Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize?
Wait, is Davey Coda? Is Davey Coda? I get the feeling that Davey is Coda. I feel like Davey is Coda. That's it, right? Davey is Coda. Right? It's the only thing that makes sense to me anymore.
What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
It's another game. This is like a station.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
David's Coda. I'm almost 100% sure of it.
Solution.
Almost like this chapter is your favorite one visually. It's
I guess if someone had told me ahead.
But at this point, I don't think that I'm looking anymore at it. I just want to finish reading the book.
Of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games. Maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
Well, you convinced me that he was depressed. So I guess you're right.
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
What does this mean? What does this mean? Yeah. It ended.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Just driven. There's so many things to be driven by. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I wouldn't be able to tell you what to be driven by. I mean, I guess we all can enjoy and benefit from validation the same way sometimes for our headache hurts too much, we take an aspirin or some kind of drug for it. So I understand that. But if your headache is literally hurting every single day, then you should find out what's causing the headache and not just keep taking the same drug, you know? And try to fix it if it can be fixed, and if not, then I guess you just have to take the drug every day. I don't know. That sounds like a tough jail to be in.
What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
So who made this level? Was it Coda? Was it Davey? Will I get my answer of Davey and Coda being the same person? There's a lot of boxes, which I know Coda likes. Different shapes and colors. Okay. Well, hey, another prison. I'm sorry if I'm not talking a lot. I'm just kind of focused on this. Kind of absorbed in it. Ha! The teleporter. The teleporter. Or the machine where you have to throw yourself in to save others. Is it gonna kill me or is it gonna take me up? And I feel like it's gonna take me up so I can see everything. No more messages? Alright. Yeah, I had the feeling that it would take me up. It's a never-ending maze. Wow. Can I move or no? Stay near that's it, right? That's where the game ends.
Turn back. Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going.
Is this recorded by Coda?
The cave goes for miles and miles and miles.
No.
And you're so tired, but I know that you're strong. So turn back.
I almost feel like the credits are part of the game too.
Turn back.
Well, I mean, a game with so much narrative, I guess it makes sense that the credits I would consider a part of the game. Let's get back sitting. Yeah, that's it. That's a game. Wow. So, you know, I'm gonna send an email to this person, and I think he's gonna see something interesting from my reaction to the game. In the fact that he portrayed Coda to be so sick, and then at the end of the game he behaved in such a sick way that I ended up believing that him and Coda were the same person.